Wednesday update on I Do the 24th of January 2021 Zoya's residence. Zoya praying to the Lord while doing her namaz that on this day, when she's getting married, help her and give her strength so that she can marry the person that her sister, Zinat, and brother-in-law, Anwar, have chosen for her, even though she has never met the person. But she is still willing to go ahead and commit for life to this person, as her sister would definitely have chosen right guy for her. But somewhere she feels maybe something is wrong, and again asks for God's grace and says that whatever the Almighty wishes for her, it's a Kabul high. Next morning, her sister comes in and finds her practicing the bridal act, but with a pair of jeans underneath her bridal wear. She tells her to at least discard off the jeans on her wedding day. She is about to go when Zoya holds her hand. Zinat tells her not to worry, as it's common for her to be nervous today, but her groom is a good guy. Zoya says, definitely he's good if she's chosen, but is he the right one? Zinat is stunned into silence and thinking by this statement. Ayan's residence. Seeing in the house are flocks of girls descending down the stairs from both the groom's and the bride's side, who are discussing the pros and cons of both the parties and enjoying in harmless teasing and arguments. Their chattering is interrupted by the mother of the head of the girls' gang, Hamera. I didn't quite catch the name properly. Hopefully it's this. She is the cousin to Nikat, for whom the groom and his party are coming in the evening, and the whole house and everybody is busy in prepping up for it. Her mother, whose favorite line is, Furtum Bologe ki Bolti high, is constantly nagging about how they have to get the house ready, and the present generation of girls always have incessant nonsensical topics to chat about. Just then Nikat's mother, Shirin, arrives, talking on the phone with her husband Rashid about their daughter and her impending marriage, while interrupting in between, motioning the girls to get the bride ready for whom the function is being organized. Hamera, along with her gang, proceed towards Nikat's room. Shirin continues talking to Rashid and telling him to come home soon fro the office. Hamera comes to Nikat's room and finds her in doubt with a zillion dresses, unable to decide what to wear that would go with her dark complexion. Hamera unsuccessfully tries to cheer her up, saying she's beautiful, but Nikat is depressed, thinking otherwise. Just then Hamera's mother and Shirin enter. They reprimand her for not being ready yet and tell her that she can't be this indecisive after marriage, since her completion won't win everybody over. Her mannerisms will have to do that for our. She nods and Hamera takes her out to dress her up for the occasion. Shirin takes this opportunity to thank Hamera's mother for setting up this relation for Nikat despite her dark complexion. She in return tells her not to worry, since the guy belongs to her in-law's side and therefore has to be good, and she is determined to get Nikat married this year, as she considers Shirin to be her real sister, even if they are not related. Shirin's eyes fill up with gratitude. Meanwhile downstairs, Hamera perks up Nikat's mood by showing her a wonderful dress, but Ayan steals away the thunder and the credit for it. He makes his entry doing stunts on a bicycle and gets everybody in a little merriment with a song and dance sequence. He is shown in a healthy teasing affair with Hamera, who share a love-hate relationship. After the dance, Ayan is shown flirting with girls, living up to his Casanova image, but gets rebutted on mixing up names of the girls. Hamera takes this opportunity to tease him, but he retaliates by declaring his profound love for her, in a playful manner. A series of interesting, teasing chit-chat follows. Zoya's residence. Anwar is expressing his doubts to Zinat about getting Zoya on the pretext of spending holidays to India, from New York, and then getting her to forcefully marry, where she would face the problem of adjusting to this lifestyle, which is a big change from New York. But Zenit dismisses all doubts, saying that most NRI families do the same, and once married everything is alright and the girl successfully adapts. But Anwar is still in doubt. Their house is thronged with guests who have come for the marriage. The groom is congratulated by his friends for landing himself a bride from America. Zoya descends down the stairs, and all eyes are fixed on her. She passes the groom and sits on her side. The Malvi starts the nikah with the condition of a mare of 30 rupees, 00001, and asks if Zoya agrees to the marriage. When she doesn't respond, the priest asks her again. Finally, after being asked thrice, she says that she doesn't agree to the marriage and runs away from here and back to her room. Everybody is shocked to hear this. Anwar runs behind her. She shuts the door and starts crying, but Anwar knocks on the door and comes inside to be by her side in this time of difficulty. She asks for his forgiveness for saying no to marriage and that he had to see this. Then she suddenly thinks about her sister and freezes. Downstairs, her sister is having a hard time explaining the recent events and is at the receiving end of the groom's side's wrath, who have taken it on their prestige and made this an ego issue. She tries to calm them down, saying that the marriage will most certainly happen. But the situation is far from redemption. Zoya thinks that she can't face her sister and that the only option is to run away. Anwar tries to calm her down and asks her to relax. Zoya confronts him, saying that she trusted him, and when they got her to India on the pretext of a vacation, even he didn't bother to tell Aur that Zenit's fixed her marriage when he clearly knew that she had come to India with a mission. Not only did he not help her with that, he went on to betray her by fixing her marriage along with Zenit without her knowledge. Downstairs, Zenit is having a hard time controlling the situation. Meanwhile, the Malvi says that what she did was wrong, but Zoya has a right to live her life the way she wants, and if she doesn't agree, then there's no use forcing her to get married. This further sparks off a heated arguments. Finally, Zenit calms them down, saying that Zoya will definitely get married, and starts climbing the stairs with others in follow who have now taken it to their ego and say that now they will get Zoya married with or without her consent. Sensing the crowd coming upstairs, Anwar looks up at a frightened Zoya, and both of them decide on a common way out. Zenit bursts into Zoya's room to find it empty with just Anwar there and an open window. The realization that Zoya has in fact run away makes her faint almost in Anwar's arms, and the others disperse. Anwar tells her to pray for Zoya, as there is nothing else left to do, and pray that the Lord gives her the strength to recognize her love, and when it comes along her way, have the courage to say, Kubul Hai. A deserted building and a bylane in it. Some blind children are playing. Another hero makes an entry helping one of the visually challenged kids in his task. He then goes on to raise money for the blind kids by singing a song on the guitar. As fate would have it, Zoya too is in the same building, wandering around aimlessly, and Ayan too happens to be there, but their paths don't cross. The screen freezes on Trio's face, suggesting that their lives are going to be intertwined by fate. At the Mazar, Assad meets Ayan, who are brothers. Ayan in his playful nature comments that his brother is a noble person, all the while not taking his eyes away from the girls in their flirting with every girl. Assad, in a brotherly manner, tells him to stop fooling around. Ayan says that he doesn't stand a chance when he is seen with him, as girls can't look beyond Assad. He also in vain tries to fix him with a girl, but Assad stops him and maintains his serious gravity-like demeanor all along while Ayan keeps talking to him while concentrating on every girl passing by. Ayan's residence, Hamera's mother is gloating about her parents' wealthy stature while becoming the butt of the jokes of the girls and her mother-in-law who leave no stone unturned in pulling her leg on everything she says. Meanwhile Shurn comes in with her kebabs and asks her to taste and tell how they are. Hamera's mother asks her to get some more. While her daughter is about to go, she tells her cousin, Nazar in a sarcastic tone to get more from the kitchen and not laze around all day, much to her mother-in-law's disdain. But Nazar does not feel hurt and comes back with a tray full of kebabs and is about to eat one when Hamera's mother instructs everybody not to eat anything before the groom's side comes at the mazar. Meanwhile Ayan is getting his brother Asad to gift him a new bike by coaxing him into knowing that he feels humiliated when he has to take his old bike in front of one of his rivals who has the latest model, and that asking money from his dad for a new bike is like doing the impossible. Asad gives in to his younger stepbrother's whim and says that he would indeed get him one, having got his message. Ayan still continues flirting with girls while commenting that the girl that they choose or themselves are going to be vastly different even though the brothers think alike. Zoya passes them from behind. Asad gets Ayan inside the mazar to pray, where Zoya has also come to find some peace. She sits beside the mazar and prays and silently cries. Asad, who has come to pray, fixes his gaze on her sitting across her, at the first glance. Ayan, when he comes in too, notices the crying Zoya and can't move his eyes from her, while it looks like she's about to look up. Asad distracts himself and closes his eyes to pray, but Ayan keeps his gaze fixed. She gathers herself and leaves from there with Ayan in tow, who goes behind her following. When Asad finishes his prayer and opens his eyes and looks for her, he finds her gone and is slightly disappointed. Meanwhile, when Zoya comes out of the mazar, she overhears the groom's side looking for her, knowing that she's wearing a black dupatta, and ducks to escape them. Ayan is also chasing her, but she keeps disappearing. A game of hide and seek goes on for a while when Zoya, finding her chance, leaves the mazar but has to let go of her dupatta in the wake. Ayan behind her in her search loses her but finds her dupatta instead. At Zoya's residence, Hamera's mother is busy giving directions to the groom's uncle on the phone towards their house, but not making much sense, causing splits of laughter among the rest of the family. After getting off the phone, she gloats about the uncle being a famous unbeatable lawyer in Indore while cut down by her mother-in-law, commenting despite that, he takes half an hour to understand directions and hopes that the groom has not taken on his uncle. She defends him, saying he's a double MA, but again the girls make a joke of that. She keeps clarifying that since the groom, if from her in-law's place, he would be one in a million. Her mother-in-law too challenges her, saying that soon they would get to know his value. Getting a call again, she again engages herself into giving directions, but Hamera, having had enough of this charade, takes the phone and gives him discreet directions to their place. She is then instructed by her mother to try Ayan's no too to find out what's taking him so long. At the mazar, Asad calls up Ayan to find out where he is, and Ayan makes an excuse of having an important work to attend to. He tells him to take care of himself and agrees to buying him a bike after being remained of it again by Ayan. Meanwhile, the Zoya's groom's side find Ayan with a dupatta and inquire him of the lady who it belongs to. Ayan jokes about so many prospective suitors of the girl before Hema and tells them that he doesn't know. Meanwhile, Zoya out of the mazar is walking on the road when she has a collision with a swirling car, that happens to be Assad's. He gets down to help the girl who he now recognizes as the one from the Mazar. However, Zoya retaliates saying that he must be disappointed that he tried so hard to kill him with his rash driving but failed. They engage in a verbal argument where she accuses him of driving rash, and if he can't drive sane, he shouldn't drive at all. He accuses her of walking carelessly on the road, and if she can't walk properly she should not come out of the house at all. She retaliates by accusing him of talking rudely and that if can't talk properly he should keep his mouth shut. He tells her that nobody's ever talked so rude with him ever. She says that why he's so arrogant. She collects her things, muttering to herself that she was better off in New York and that in India everybody stares at a girl as if they have never seen one before. How can a girl protect herself in a situation like that? He says they can if they keep their eyes low on the ground. He says that if girls dress up to put a charade in front of people, they can't be blamed for ogling. She retaliates by saying that she doesn't understand why all the restrictions on women only. He says that not restrictions but mannerisms. She snatches the pepper spray from his hands and says that is what she uses for protection. He says that he does not want to argue with her on her wedding day. She says it's not. He gives her a startled look, to which she asks him not to be judgmental on her. He says if she has so much problems then she should just leave and go back to New York. She says that she would and that she's here in India only for a reason. He says when she leaves it would be big favor on the country. So saying they both take opposite pathways. At the Mazar, Zoya's groom side start beating him up for being cavalier, but before they can stab him with a knife, he is saved by Assad, who enters total filmy style and beats up the goons. However, even when they both bash up the goons together, Assad gets stabbed by a goon after being caught unawares. Ayan runs to his side and is shocked to see him hurt so bad. At Ayan's residence, Shirin talking to Hamira's mother that her right eye is twitching incessantly and she's scared that something bad would happen. She tells her not to worry and that everything would be fine and the people would like nikah and consent for the marriage proposal as they are after all from her in-law's side. The phone rings and Shirin picks it up to talk to Ayan and is shocked by what Ayan tells her. In the hospital, Ayan is desperately wishing for Assad to open his eyes. The doctor comes and comforts him saying that he would soon open his eyes when the effect of the anesthesia wears off and his wounds would heal pretty soon. He tells Ayan to get medicines from the chemist as they are not available here. He leaves. After a while Assad opens his eyes to find Rashid and his family who has come to meet him. Also seen is Assad's mother who has just reached the door of the room. At Ayan's residence, the girls are disturbed. Nikhat comments that the situation is going to be very awkward and they don't know what's happening there, when after 17 years their dad would meet Assad, and worries that he has gone with their mom. But Hamira tells her that Shirin herself wanted to go. But Nikhat reminds her that even Assad's mother would be there. They are shocked to think about the scene and the strangeness of it. Nizar asks Nikhat that she hasn't even seen Assad's mother. Nikhat tells her that she has seen her daughter Nazma in college, and that she looks a lot like her and Assad's mother. In the hospital, Assad is cajoled by her mother. He looks at Rashid with emotionless eyes. Rashid tries to comfort her saying that the wounds are not too deep as told by the doctor and that his wounds would heal soon. Assad looks pointedly at him and says with double meaning that his wounds never heal soon. The episode ends.